Good morning, everyone. Today, we are going to have the second session in module number 2, that is linear time invariant system, and we are going to solve two problems which are related to convolution sum. As I already suggested, I want you to go through with all the properties which are related with convolution sum, and this helps in solving the problems easily. Okay, so moving on to the numerical problems, let me share the screen. Okay, so now if you can see the first problem, that is the numerical problems related to convolution sum. Numerical problems in convolution sum. In convolution sum. Numerical problems in convolution sum. So how would the problem be like? So you have to find out the convolution sum of two sequences, that is x1 of n and x2 of n, given x1 of n is 1 comma 2 comma 3, x2 of n is 2 comma 1 comma 4. Okay, so here you have an arrow mark that has been listed out at 2 in x2 of n, and at x1 of n it is at 1. So what is this arrow mark? So the arrow mark either at the upward direction or top or bottom, like top or bottom, indicates that it is at the origin. Okay, what do you mean by that? This is an important thing that you need to remember, because later on the arrow mark will be having a impact on how you find the convolution of it. Okay, so this arrow mark, in case of a discrete signal, I repeat, so this arrow mark certainly indicates the origin, or certainly at 0. Okay, at n is equal to 0, you are going to have the magnitude of x1 of n. So it has been starting like this. So for example, you might get a sequence like this, a discrete time sequence, where you will get 0, 2, and 3. Okay, so what do you mean by that? At n is equal to 0. So arrow mark, whatever that indicates, this is at n is equal to 0, you have 0, whatever may be the magnitude that is associated with it. So there you are going to call it as n equals 0. Now this is when I move to the right by one step, that is n equals 1 and n equals 2 and so on. So it depends on the sequence that you are operating. So next you have n is equal to minus 1. Okay, if you move towards the left, it is minus 1. If you move towards the right, that is plus 1, that is positive values of n, and you have negative values of n being written here. Okay, so and the same way, this is the first sequence, and the second sequence is also the same way. So what I wanted to mean here is, so here this is at n is equal to 0, this one is at n is equal to 1, so this is n is equal to 2, and at the same way you have x2 of n. So this is x2 of n that I will be writing here, x2 of n. So n is equal to 0, I have 2. Okay, so n is equal to 0, I have 2. So at 1, okay, n is equal to 1, it is at 1. Okay, next at 2, it is 4. Fine. So this is how the sequence of n is all about, and x1 of n is written like this. Okay, so n is equal to 0, 1, at 1 it is 2, at 2 it is 3 here. So this is how the sequence x1 of n and x2 of n is dependent upon. So like that is how you can represent it over the graph. So now the main question is, how do I represent it using the convolution sum? Okay, so this is the convolution sum, that is x1 of n and x2 of n, that has been written. So you have to find out x1 of n convoluted with x2 of n. So you have to find out the convolution sum. Okay, so convolution sum you have to find out. Okay, so convolution sum, how will you find out the convolution sum? So using the property again. So first one, what you will be doing is step 1. Step 1, what you can do is x1 of n. So how you can represent it in delta function? In delta function, in delta function, how to represent. Okay, so representing in delta function, representing in delta function x1 of n. So that is how I can write it. So I can write it as, okay, so I can write it as, so x1 of n, that is delta of n. So let me write down the sequence here. So what is x1 of n? So x1 of n is 1 comma 2 comma 3. So delta of n plus 2 times delta of n minus 1 plus 3 times delta of n minus 2. Okay, so that is x1 of n. So x1 of n would be delta n plus 2 times delta n minus 1 plus 3 times delta of n minus 2. Okay, so x2 of n. So how will you write x2 of n? 2 times delta of n plus delta of n minus 1 plus 4 times delta of n minus 2. Okay, so this is how you can write it. So this is x1 of n and x2 of n. I have represented it in delta function, represented in delta function, represented in delta function. Okay, so that's how I can represent in terms of the delta function here. So that is x1 of n and x2 of n. Okay, so I need to convolute the signal, that is x1 of n convoluted with x2 of n. Okay, so this is how you can generally take it into consideration, the convolution of two signal. So what do I do next? Okay, so x1 of n and x2 of n. So I know the certain formula for convolution of two signals, that is with impulse response. So how will you define the impulse response? It is defined as the input. When it is an impulse signal, the response of a signal is defined as a impulse response of the signal there, right? So that is how you can define x1 of n convoluted. So this is the symbol for convolution, and x2 of n. Okay, so two signals are being present here. So later on you are going to have the convolution sum being operated to it. Fine. So now moving on to the next step, I have x1 of n and x2 of n. So what is the convolution sum? That is y of n. So x1 of n convoluted with x2 of n. Fine. So next, let me write x1 of n. So how will I write x1 of n? So delta of n plus 2 times delta of n minus 1 plus 3 times delta of n minus 2. Okay. Next, how do you convolute it? With the second signal, 2 times delta of n plus delta of n minus 1 plus 4 times delta of n minus 2. Okay, so now you are having the convolution of a signal x1 of n and x2 of n. Fine. So let me recall the property which is there associated only with respect to delta function. So recalling the recall the property here. So which is one? Which is the convolution of two delayed unit impulse sequences. Okay, so once you have two delayed unit impulse sequences, impulse sequences that is, generally I have delta of n minus m and delta of n minus k. Okay, so how would I generally use it? So delta of n minus k convoluted with, just a moment. Sorry for the delay. So delta of n minus k. Okay, so you have two signals. I told you that it is commutative in nature, x1 of n convoluted with x2 of n, that would be equal to x2 of n convoluted with x1 of n. So I can say that it is commutative in nature also. Okay, so any two delta signals that are associated with the delayed signal, so delta of n minus k convoluted with delta of n minus m. Okay, so what you can generally write it is, you can have the convolution being applied as delta of n minus m plus k. Okay, you can write it as the sum of two delayed signals. This is like this, that is delta of n minus 2 convoluted with delta of n minus 3. So as I told you in the previous class, that is n minus 2 plus 3 is 5. Okay, so you might have a problem once you have delta of n plus 1, so that you have to change it as minus of minus 1. Okay, so you are going to have delta of n minus 5 being there. Okay, so this is a typical example what we are done with the previous class, and we are going to follow this property in finding out the convolution of two signals. Okay, so let me go step by step to make you understand, as this is the first problem, y of n. Okay, so you have y of n, where you will be having generally delta of n multiplied with 2 delta of n. Okay, so that is convoluted 2 delta of n. Okay, so next you are going to have plus delta of n convoluted with delta of n minus 1 plus delta of n convoluted with 4 delta of n minus 2. Okay, plus next take the next one, that is 2 times delta of n minus 1 convoluted with 2 times delta of n, that is convoluted with 2 times delta of n plus delta of n minus 1. So it is just similar to the multiplication process here, but we are using the convolution operation also. So 2 times delta of n convoluted with delta of n minus 1 plus 2 times delta of n minus 1 convoluted with 4 times delta of n minus 2. Next, 3 times delta of n minus 2 convoluted with 2 times delta of n. Okay, plus 3 times delta of n minus 2 convoluted with delta of n minus 1 plus 3 times delta of n minus 2 convoluted with 4 times delta of n minus 2. Okay, so this is how the sequence would look like, and it is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So totally you have 9 terms here. So let me apply the delayed sequence for each and every thing here. So which gives you the final result. Okay, so which gives you the final result. Okay, so total you have 9 terms here. So y of n, be careful here. So 2 into 1. So if you don't have anything, the magnitude is 1. 2 times delta of n, the magnitude is said to be 2 there, right? So 2 times delta of n. So you have no delayed sequences. So 0 plus 0, that is 0. You are having n minus 0, that is delta of n, plus delta of n convoluted with delta of n minus 1. So you have delta of n minus 1 again. Okay, so you don't have any term that is associated with the magnitude. You can retain as delta of n minus 1 plus 4 times delta of n minus 2 plus 4 times delta of n minus 1 plus 2 into 1, that is 2 times delta of n minus 2 plus 8 times delta of n minus 3 plus 3 to the 6 times delta of n minus 2 plus 3 into 1, that is 3 times delta of n minus 3 plus 3 into 4, 12 delta of n minus 4. Okay, so if you can see the sequence here, this is 2. Okay, yes, fine. So you have delta of n term being present here, delta of n minus term. This is the first term, and n minus term being present here. This is also the first term. So what I can do here, grouping of terms. Grouping of terms. Okay. So I'm doing the grouping of terms. Y of n, that is 2 times delta of n plus, I need to group the terms now, that is associated with delta of n minus 2, n minus 3, and certainly you have only one term, that is 12 into delta of n minus 4. Okay, so now 1 plus 4, that is 5 times delta of n minus 1. I am writing it directly. Okay, so 2 times delta of n minus 2, next 2 plus 6, that is, yeah, so you have one more term, that is the third term here. 4 plus 2, 6 plus 6, that is 12 times delta of n minus 2 plus delta of n minus 3, 1, 2, that is 11 times delta of n minus 3. This is quite simple. 12 comma 11. Okay, how did I write it? So delta of n, that is only with respect to n is equal to 0. This is at n is equal to 1. This is at n is equal to 2. This is at n is equal to 3. So how do I represent it in terms of the graph? So I have y of n. So that would be equal to 2 comma 5 comma 12, 11 comma 12. Sorry, should be 11 comma 12. 11 comma 12. Okay, so you have 2 comma 5 comma, okay, 2 comma 5 comma, okay, so you have 12 again. Sorry, I think we have missed out a term here. So 2 times delta of n, 2 times delta of n. Next you have 5 times delta of n minus 1. Next you have 12 times 11. Yeah, fine. So 12, 11, 12. Okay, so I think we missed out the last term here. So we have, that is 12, 11, 12. Yeah, so this is at the origin. So this is at the origin. So now I have 2 comma 5 comma 12 comma 11 comma 12. So this is at the origin. So I have y of n as the signal. How I can write it in terms of delta sequence? In terms of delta sequence, I can write it as, that is y of n equals 2 times delta of n plus 5 times delta of n minus 1 plus 12 times delta of n minus 2 plus 11 times delta of n minus 3 and plus 12 times delta of n minus 4. Okay, so this is how I can write it in terms of the delta sequence. Okay, so now I'll give a problem to you, the same sequence, that is the discrete time sequence, where you have to find out the convolution sum. Find the convolution sum. Find the convolution sum here. Okay, so using the two sequence, that is x1 of n and x2 of n. So where I have x1 of n to be 1 comma 2 comma 3 and x2 of n to be 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. Okay, so this is x2 of n and this one is x1 of n, where the origin is at 1 and the origin is at, the magnitude is said to be 3 here. Find the convolution sum. Find the convolution sum. Find the convolution sum. Okay, so this problem is assigned to Karthik Vakil. So I'll be sharing the solutions once Karthik sends me the solution which is there with this problem. Okay, so we will stop the class here, and meanwhile we will have our discussion in the next class. Okay, so